What's going on? My name is Reginald Cuthbert. Most people call me Mr. C, but this will be your Toolbox Tutors Math Session. Today, we'll be discussing how to solve this linear system using the elimination method. And by the end of this video, you'll be able to solve this linear system and also prove that this answer correct. Let's get started. So the goal of solving linear systems using the elimination method is to eliminate a variable. When we say eliminate, we're going to do exactly what this word says, and we're going to get rid of a variable. So what we want to do is first look at our variables to see what we can get rid of. Next, we'll solve for the other variable. Once we solve for that variable, we'll substitute this back in, and next we'll solve for the variable we eliminated in the beginning. Once we get the missing variable, we'll have both the x and the y. This will be the point where these two lines meet. In order to check this answer, what we'll do is take this point, plug it back into both equations, and if it comes out true, then we know that answer is right. It may sound complicated, but we're going to follow these steps, and it's not that bad. So for this first example, we'll start by looking at our x. So we have a positive x on the top and a negative x on the bottom. Remember, we're trying to eliminate variables, and what we're going to do is combine or add these two equations together. So if we're looking at these x's, we have a positive x on top and a negative x on the bottom. These are opposites. So this means that we can cancel these out. Next, we have 8y and 3y. What we'll do is add these together. Since we've eliminated x's, we're going to solve for y on this one. So 8y plus 3y gives us 11y, and negative 16 plus this 5 gives us negative 11. From here, we can solve this like a one-step equation, dividing both sides by 11. And we get y equals negative 11 divided by 11 gives us negative 1. So now that we know y equals negative 1, what we'll do is take this y equals negative 1 and we'll plug it back into one of our original equations. So we'll use this top one. So we have x plus 8y equals negative 16. So now we have x plus 8. But now instead of writing y again, what we'll do is substitute this with negative 1 since we know y equals negative 1 for this equation. And we have negative 16. So bring down our x again. Not an equal sign. Bring down our x, bring down the plus, and then 8 times negative 1 actually gives us negative 8. So instead of 8 plus, we'll have 8 minus 8. X minus 8 equals negative 16. And from here, we solve this like a one-step equation. Add an 8 to both sides, and you get x equals negative 8. So now, I bet a couple of you are wondering, well, why did you choose the top equation? Could you have done the same thing with the bottom equation, still gotten the same answer? Let's try it and see. So we keep y equals negative 1, but here we're going to put negative x plus 3y equals 5. So now negative x will stay the same, plus 3 will stay the same, but instead of y, we're going to put negative 1 equals 5. All right, got kind of close there, but we'll fix it. So next, bring down that negative x again. Positive 3 times negative 1 gives us negative 3. And we're going to bring down this 5. From here, we're going to add 3 to both sides. And we have negative x equals 8. Only problem we have here is that we're not trying to solve for negative x, we're trying to solve for positive x. So what we want to do is get rid of this negative sign. We want to divide by negative 1, and you have x equals 8 divided by negative 1 gives you negative 8. So notice that it doesn't matter which equation you plug in, y equals negative 1, you should still get negative 8. So now we have a single point, and I'll write this point over here to the front. We have x comma y. Remember, when we're writing points, x always comes first, then y. So x would be our negative 8. So we have negative 8, and y is negative 1. So this is the point that we have where these two lines meet. What we'll do now is we'll check this by taking this point and plugging it into each equation. If I'm moving too fast, don't forget that you can pause and rewind the video. Also, if I am moving too fast, please leave a comment below. I'll try to slow down for future videos. So from here we have our solution, -8, -1, and we'll plug this in our first equation, x plus 8y equals -16. So now we know x is equal to -8, so we put -8 here, bring down this 8, and in parentheses we're going to put -1 equals -16. So from here, bring down -8. Positive 8 times -1 gives us -8, and then equals -16. All right. So now -8 minus 8 gives us -16 equals -16. That statement is true because -16 is equal to -16. So now we know that -8, -1 is on this line. So now what we want to do is check -8, -1 for the second equation. And if this statement also comes out true, we know we have the right solution. So once again, we have -8, -1. And we're going to plug it into the second equation, x plus 3y equals 5. I almost got ahead of myself. So -x, when I put this -8 in, I'm going to put this negative sign first, and I'll put -8 in parentheses to make sure we account for this negative sign that's right here in front. So now we have plus 3, and then y is equal to -1 equals 5. So now a negative of -8 is a positive 8. So that's 8. And positive 3 times -1 gives us -3 equals 5. And 8 minus 3 equals 5. And 5 does equal 5. So now we know that -8, -1 is a solution to this example. Thanks for watching the video. If it helps you out any, hit the like button. Also, if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below. Until next time, have a good one.